as the federal government moves to revamp Nigeria's oil sector in order to give it a facelift. Perhaps this sector of the economy is experiencing the biggest shakeup in its history, with Nigeria's petroleum sector merely gasping for breath. Does the President Buhari's administration has the skilled manpower to change the dwindling fortunes in Nigeria's oil sector? Welcome to Question Time. I'm Benga Ashiru. You can also join in this conversation by sending us your comments on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Who takes responsibility for capacity building in Nigeria's oil sector? The Petroleum Technology Development Fund was established with a mandate to train Nigerians for the petroleum industry. Channels Television caught up with the Executive Secretary, Mr. Femi Ajayi. It says the PTDF is very much alive in its responsibilities. Let's find out.
Yeah, I think we've made a lot of difference in this sector. Because at the moment now, you cannot talk about dearth of skilled manpower. I mean, we have trained both at the low end and at the high end. When I say high end, I'm talking about the people with bachelor's, master's, PhD. So we have all of them, both for the industry and even for the academia. Because just as you are training people for the industry, you also need people in the academia so that you can continue to turn out the right caliber of people for the sector. But apart from that, we have not even restricted our intervention to that. We've gone to the low end of the continuum to produce welders and fabricators, because we found out that in order to pluck the low-hanging fruits in the oil and gas sector, you need technicians and technologists, which is why we started the welders training and certification program, where we have produced about 1,315 welders.
How do you mean by plucking the low-hanging fruits in Nigeria's oil sector?
Yeah, you know, perhaps the most important policy of government in our national economic efforts is the Nigerian Content Initiative. We want a situation where we are adding more value to whatever is produced in Nigeria. So in the oil and gas sector, we want a situation where Nigerians will be the ones running the show in the oil and gas sector, both as managers and as the technical experts. So, in order to be able to do this, you need people who have the capacity. So what I'm saying is that, I mean, we are producing the required number and the ones with the right capabilities and competencies to do the ordinary work, the everyday work in the oil and gas sector. Because about 60% of the activities in the oil and gas sector involves technicians. So if you produce only the professors, the people with masters and PhDs, you may not be able to cover much of the ground. So in order to cover a lot of ground within a short time, that's why we started the Welders Training and Certification Program. So in a way now, all those jobs that expatriates used to do in the oil and gas sector, that they used to bring people to come and do, we now have the relevant personnel to do them.
Tell us more about the training of welders, because we have roadside welders. Do you need so much attention in giving to welders? Is it the same thing?
I'm talking about internationally certified welders who are not roadside welders. I mean, when you are talking about welding, this metal arc welding, which is the one that is required for the manufacturing sector, it involves several stages. They are, like for instance, to be a competent general welder, for instance, you need to have done the fillet welding, you do plate welding, then you do tube welding. Those are three essential phases that you have to pass through in order to be competent in manual metal arc welding. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about people who just join materials or on the road. This one, by the time you pass through these three phases, you are internationally certified and you can work in any part of the world.
Let's quickly look at the area of the institutional capacity building. What exactly is the PTDF doing to boost our institutions, our oil institutions?
Oh, a lot. Because we know that we cannot continue, because at the moment, despite all the educational institutions and training institutes that we have in the country, they are not nearly enough. So we send a lot of people abroad. But we cannot continue to do that in perpetuity. So that's why we are involved in institutional capacity building, which essentially means upgrading the capabilities and the facilities in our universities and other educational institutions, and also even building from the scratch some oil and gas institutes in order to have enough training capacity in the country.
Could you tell us some of these institutes that the PTDF have been involved in developing or building from scratch?
Yeah, for instance, we have upgraded 26 universities across the country. University of Lagos, ABU. So in fact, most of the publicly owned universities we have been involved. And a typical university upgrade involves sometimes building an entire department, relevant department. It could be a department of chemical engineering, a department of geology, or a department of geophysics, or a department of industrial chemistry. Because those are the ones that are related to the oil and gas sector. And sometimes it could mean, okay, an already existing department, giving them equipment support, or giving them a laboratory, or equipping their library, or providing ICT support. That is what a typical university upgrade would do. But apart from that, institutes like the Petroleum Training Institute, PTI, in Warri, practically all their facilities have been upgraded.
You can also join in this conversation by sending us your comments on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Coming up on Question Time, what has been the impact of the PTDF trainings on Nigeria's oil sector? Find out when we come back.